Depression can affect anyone at any time, and is a mental illness that does not discriminate in any way. Hello, my name is William Houston, and I'll be talking to you about depression. Depression is an illness that many people experience, and one that can be debilitating if left untreated. Depression not only affects the mind and the ability to focus, but also can affect a person's physically by leading to increased levels of fatigue, reduced appetite, and weight loss. Increased appetite and weight gain. The onset explained by physical problems. Sorry. And disturbance, irritability are noted by Mayo Clinic. I will inform the audience about depression and the impact it has on families and loved ones. But after conducting research on depression by using many different reputable and reliable sources, I am prepared to convey the information that I have learned to others. This is important because depression is much easier to treat when people can recognize the signs of depression when they first appear. In my research, I learned that depression affects far more people than you would think, and is most prominent in people between ages 18 and 25. According to information presented by Madeline Brown, Psych Central, in America today, there are many teens and adults who suffer from episodes of depression that make it much more difficult for them to get from the day to the next. Depression not only affects the individual, but also impacts the lives and well-being of their loved ones and families. The only way to win in fighting depression requires people suffering from mental illness to ask for help and gain professional help. They need to overcome any obstacles that they face. First, I will discuss what depression is before noting why it is important to seek professional help. Second, I will examine the signs of depression. Finally, I will explain the importance of family support of those suffering from depression. Depression is not a mental illness that is one size fits all. While some people may not need to seek the same level of help, the need to receive help is shared by all people who suffer from depression. Getting professional help once a diagnosed depression has been made, and finding people who can provide support are the keys to living a life that includes episodes of depression. Depression is defined by Healthline as a mood disorder that is characterized by a feeling of sadness, loss of anger, and interfere with a person's everyday activities. In 2019, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention report that 18.5% of Americans adults had symptoms of depression in any given 2-week period. With such a high level of incidence, the need for intervention and professional help has multiplied exponentially within the United States. Treatment for depression are varied and may include a combination of forms or may just stick to one from one another. The Mayo Clinic encourages anyone who feels depressed to make an appointment to see your doctor or mental health professional as soon as you can because early intervention is key. People who feel depressed can also visit a depression clinic that can prescribe medication like Soprata, which is a nasal spray that does not cure but treats your depression and mood swings. It can help make the symptoms less or even cure them. After considering what depression is and how it can be treated, let's discuss the risk factors and the signs that can help you and others know if a person is suffering from depression. Although depression is a mental illness that does not discriminate, it is one that is more prevalent in people who have certain risk factors. Some people are likely to experience episodes of depression than others. As mentioned by the Healthline website, depression is twice as high in females as in males, and often more prevalent in people who experience financial problems or have a particularly low social status. There's also a generic component that makes it much more important for families or to be involved in the treatment describes an individual. A person who is depressed often shows a list of symptoms that vary only slightly from one age group to the next. Children who are depressed often experience irritability, anger, rapid shifts in mood, crying that also connected to feelings of incompetence, increased instances of getting into trouble at school or refusing to go to school. Teenagers who are dealing with depression often do not seek treatment as they do not want to be signaled out as being different. However, those who do not often report feeling of increased levels of pain, anxiety, and coupled with poor sleep and lack of focus. Adults who receive a diagnosis of depression also claim that they have experienced a loss of interest or no longer finding pleasure in their favorite activities, feeling tired easily, or engaged in high-risk activities. While the risk of symptoms may vary from one patient to the next, the need for family support is one thing that remains consistent for the majority of people dealing with depression. Having the support of family members means a great deal. Means a great deal to the person in need. Rather than punishing people who are depressed, families need to come together. When a person is depressed, can sense that those closest to them care about them, they need to act. They need to act on it. Into worlds say many teens and adults suffer from depression. This illness has an impact on individuals, on their family and loved ones. Knowing what depression is, seeking professional help, and the keys to combating mental illness. Being able to identify the risk factors, nothing symptoms of depression can lead to an intervention. Family support is very important to people with depression and helps them in the long run. There are many different things you can do. Some feeling depressed. People are willing to listen to help. And all, being depressed is a mental illness that can be treated but can rarely be cured. Thank you. That's all I have for today.